Have you ever wondered why the US became such a powerful country? How did we go from a relatively weak and insignificant former British colony, considered inferior by many European powers, to the most powerful nation on earth with a military presence in every corner of the earth? There are three main reasons that we can point to as to how this could really happen. The first, and the most important in my opinion, is geography. The US is blessed with perhaps the best geographic positioning that a country can ask for. It is a literal ocean away from every single great power, meaning it is almost immune to any attacks coming from across the ocean from any country that can realistically threaten them. Then there's the Great Plains and rivers that are found towards the center of the country, which allowed the US to become entirely self-sufficient in its food production and become a leading exporter in grain to other countries that lacked in this area. Not to mention that it's surrounded by two countries that are significantly weaker and less populated than it, giving the US all the time it needs to focus on growth. The second reason that I think is crucial is the industrial and economic capacity of the United States. Beginning after the Civil War, the US began to rapidly expand its industry and manufactured goods, and became the largest economy in the world by the time of World War I. They supplied a good amount of the Entente powers during the war, led the world in economic growth during the 20s, and became the arsenal of the Allies during the Second World War, ultimately leading to the defeat of Germany. All of this economic opportunity brought massive amounts of immigrants from abroad, which further boosted economic growth in American cities like New York, Chicago, and Detroit. By the end of the Second World War, the American economy was unmatched anywhere in the world. This leads me to my final reason why the United States became a global power, which is that they had a long series of military victories that expanded their global influence. First, it was the Spanish-American War, where the US curb-stomped Spain and gained Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines, showing the world that they were a force to be reckoned with. Then they went on to intervene in World War I and played a crucial role in the defeat of Germany, and later got involved in the Second World War, which resulted in another victory against Germany and a more explosive one against Japan, followed by the Korean War, where the US preserved South Korean independence. This streak of victories showed the world that America had incredible military potential, until we ruined it by going into Vietnam, but still. America held on to their position of power well after the war. They competed with the Soviet Union after the war and won, since that whole communism thing, it turns out, doesn't really work, and they continued their mission with their bad habit of bombing and destabilizing Middle Eastern countries, since I guess they just got bored after the Cold War ended or something. But for better or for worse, the US is the most powerful country in human history, and this was just a little peek into how they got there and why they stay there to this day.